Greetings. So we are going to look at the Origins Game Fair 2025 preview on Board Game Geek. I'll include a link to this down in the description in case you want to take a look at your own, and that way you can put what you are interested in. Because if you put, must have interest, undecided, not interested, you can then look at just those specific games. We have 30 on our list. But there's 144 titles. I'm not going to go over each game individually. I'm going to kind of scroll through, let you know the ones we're interested in, which ones we're kind of on, or especially if it's ones that we've covered on the channel. I will let you know that as well and what I think of them. There will be a link to that playlist we have down below as well. Where am I? Down below, I've collected all the different videos we have of games releasing at Origins, and it'll be in there. All right, so we're going to start with the self-published one locations, each game's listing. So this one's going to be at the Van Riders game booth. I will say this is one, I guess I'm going to put undecided on this one. I haven't actually done that before on this one. So this one looks like you're going to be having 3 cards and you're trying to manipulate them and then manipulate your opponent. So that way you have the certain cards you need in order to win. It does seem like there's going to be quite a bit of take that to make sure that your opponent isn't getting what they want, and we're not huge on that types of games. That's why I'm a little undecided on this one. Kind of want to see the level of take that in it. Not a big fan of zombies. We also don't have zombie survival infection. All right, so 25th century games. So I don't have interested or must have on most of these because a lot of these we've already backed and are waiting to be fulfilled, or we have. Like Big Sur, we have backed that campaign. We're waiting on that one. This has multi-use cards, pattern building, travel. It seems like really cool where you're going to be like laying out your cards, and based on how they're laid out are going to be certain scoring mechanisms and all of that. Really cool looking one. Pretty cheap too at only 20 bucks. Nice little small card game. 25th Century Games does that really well. Conservis. There's multiple ways that I've pronounced it before. I had done a playthrough of this the entire year. It is a solo only game where you're going to be building bags of these discs, pulling them, and basically making these tins of fish. They have a campaign of it through January through December. So that is basically what this is. In the playlist down below, I think I only have January, the unboxing, etc. I didn't put all of them that I have on it. So this one is pretty fun if you are looking for those solo puzzles, because each month does contain something different, something else, maybe a different way that you can sell the fish. There's boats that you have to buy. You can't overfish. If you overfish, then you lose, etc. Grand Central Skyport. This was part of that same Kickstarter that we're waiting on that had Big Sur in it. This one's a much larger game where you basically have these different ports. And again, though, I think you're kind of laying out cards, and that kind of depends on what you can do. La Habana. This is one that it's got bluffing. This was, I believe, another part of a Kickstarter. This one we just didn't really click on. There wasn't really anything there that really wanted us to back this one. Not saying it's a bad game. This is just one that didn't hit for us. Penguin Party, we have covered this on the channel. It's a small little card game where basically everyone has a hand of cards and you're trying to get rid of the cards in your hand by playing the cards in a pyramid. And when you play a card, it needs to match a color of one of the cards below it as you're building up the pyramid. So if you have a red card and a blue card, then you want to put a red or a blue card on top of it. And then when you get rid of all the cards in your hand, your opponent gets negative points based on how many cards they have left in theirs. Play over a number of rounds equal to players. Whoever has the fewest negative points wins. Liar's Dice. This is a classic game. This is the 25th Century Games English edition. Basically, if you've seen Pirates of the Caribbean, it was Pirates Dice. You're going to roll a dice, hide them, and everyone kind of bids and sees, saying I have like 6 6s, I have 3 4, etc. And then you see about calling someone out. This one, party game by them. We're not big on party games, so that's why we didn't do that one. Sand art. This is gather and pour colors of sand to create beautiful bottle art. Again, this and this next one, Wine Cellar, was part of the 4 games with Grand Central Seaport and Big Sur that we're waiting on. This one basically has you actually coloring in the different levels to make the sand art to accomplish certain goals, and you have certain tools and various things that help manage all of that. Wine Cellar, rival sommeliers compete in a fierce auction to build the best collection. Normally, we're not big on auction bidding games, but the way that this one does it is I believe you basically put out a card, but then everyone gets something. Usually in bidding games, you don't get stuff or it's hard to manage things. This seems to take that and really turn on its head and do it really well. Where when you bid, you might still get what you want because maybe the other person doesn't want the stuff. It's got a really cool mechanism and trying to lay out the bottles in a certain order to score points. The Yellow House, this is one that we pre-ordered. They had this whole campaign for all these imports. This is one that we did. It's a 2-player hand management card game that all fits right up our alley. So inspired by artists like Van Gogh or Van Gogh and Gauguin, you'll engage in debates about which elements are most crucial in the art. Your goal is to empty your hand during these debates. All Play has a lot of their small and tiny box games coming out. Alibis, cooperative word game, deduction, not really up our alley. This For the Emperor, though, a 2-player only, playing cards, trying to have the most influence in different battlefields. Once you have the right number of battlefields, you can win the game. Kind of sounds like Battle Line or Shot and Totten. I don't know if it's exactly that same mechanism, but kind of the way that they describe it kind of makes me think of that where you're fighting over the different battlefields. Money, 3+ players, so it's not really one that we're going to be looking at. Auction bidding as well, etc. So that's not one that really interests us. Oddland, what was with this one? Is this the Eureka? As an intrepid investigator, then place one of your 7 on the cards you've just played. So card playing, 1 to 5 players. All this, like I said, kind of right up our alley. Connections, layering, tableau building, card playing, and we've liked a lot of the small box games we've done from All Play. Runes, ladder climbing from John DeClaire, and I believe this one kind of re-implemented custom heroes with, unless I'm thinking of a different one. Nope, craft unique transparent cards in the shedding game. So I believe, if I remember right, actually, let's double check that. Yep, re-implements custom heroes. That was an AEG title where basically you get these things and you put them in the cards and it changes the values up and down to help you get rid of cards in your hand. Slambo, stay balanced, hand management, card game. Each card you play raises or lowers the balance by the number printed on the card. Blue raises it, red lowers it. Can you stay in the fight long enough to win? So it sounds like a really cool back and forth tug of war game. Plays up to 4. I am interested to see like how you do that as it keeps going. So, but yeah, this is one that definitely seemed interesting. It's also sumo wrestling, which sounds cool. Vegas Strip, again, bluffing, deduction, not really ones that we like to go to, so we passed on that one. And Wordsy, this is, again, find the best way to use letters everyone shares. You may use other letters too. Kind of a real-time word game. Real-time is not a mechanism we like either. But if you are looking for a small box word game, especially in real time, then this is one for you. Arcane Wonders. So you have Buffet Boss, open drafting, stacking, balancing, action, and dexterity. So I guess, I don't know why. I think it was more the dexterity element. Bri is not a huge fan of dexterity games. This is a stacking one. So I'm going to put undecided. I'll have her check this one out and see if it's something she likes. Although I think she didn't look at this list yet. Cat in the Tower, cooperative games. I leaned away from those a little bit, and then more stacking and balancing. Just kind of the way that this one played didn't really kind of like motivate me or push me to want to back it or to look at it for some reason. I don't know. I think it's maybe just like I said, the whole stacking and cooperative. It just kind of doesn't sound like up our alley. If then, cooperative deduction, party game, like I said, a lot of that isn't stuff, like pattern recognition, memory. Those aren't mechanics that we are fans of. But if those are for you, then you have if then. They're doing a demo. And a demo of number chain. This is one we're interested in. This is, you want to rid yourself of cards as quickly as possible. So you got to chain numbers. A couple years ago at Origins, I got Gap from Arcane Wonders, and that has been a big hit with the family. So this would be another small card game. Hopefully try and get my hands on. They're demoing it there. Big release at Gen Con. Actually, I wonder, did this person do Gap? Nope, numbered chain's their only game. That's fine. I was just wondering if it was a Gap-like. Archon, an expansion for Eschaton. Eschaton is a game that we it's a little pricey, and it says like a 2 to 3 hour long playtime, so that's one that we definitely lean away from. We've never actually tried it. With Bri going with me to Origins, I think we may actually demo or look at Eschaton, and she may force us to buy it. We'll see. Button Kingdom, action, bidding, bribery, and 3 to 4 player. All those means that we are not, unfortunately, interested in it. The box cover looks really cool. So we have BA Games. They did Blacksmith. Why can I not remember the game? Forges of something. Dang it. Forges of Ravenshire. Really liked Forges of Ravenshire. We have done a preview of Goats and Goblins, not out quite yet. They are launching a campaign for that soon. That's a kind of a small party game-esque, more of like a press your luck thing. But they have a couple others that they're going to be demoing of Dungeon Diners and Garden Dragons. So I am interested in seeing what those all have and come about with. Bezier Games, they just recently announced this, the Game Makers, where you'll be building actual games. There is, it's not Tabletop Inc., where you're building games, but those box covers in games were like parodies of games. This is going to, I believe, have, they said, like over 300 actual games as part of it that you will be building. Rebel Princess expansion, 3 to 6 players, no. Xylotor is one that we've kind of passed on before, but I think while we're there, we're going to see if they have demos and maybe demo it, and this is an expansion for that. Xylotor is another trick-taking game, but you're going to be playing cards that you don't know what they are. Your cards are going to be laid out face down. It's going to have a color and a number range. So when you need to play a card, you're going to play that one and hope that you win. Maybe you'll lose. Bitewing Games, Icar and Iliad. So I've done videos on these. These are part of their, I believe it's Mythos line, where it's 2-player abstract strategy games. Icar is, you're going to be having your pieces. You're going to be moving them either vertically or horizontally or activating power. You're trying to get all of your discs on the board. One side plays monsters, one side plays the heroes. After you play one game, you flip-flop. You each play the other side. Whoever has the highest score between the 2 games wins. If there's a tie, whoever won the second game wins. So that is Icar. Iliad has you placing tiles out on the board. The tiles have special powers. When a row or column gets filled, you see who won there. They grab a token. And then at the end of the game, once the board's all filled, you're going to see who has tokens. And if so one person has favorite gods and the other person doesn't, they win. Otherwise, you're going to see who has the most favor of the gods with the scoring mechanism. Both of these are fairly quick, easy moving abstract strategy games. Iliad definitely a little quicker because it has a definitive end where everything's getting filled. Icar is more so when you're dropping off these discs. So depending on how well someone can block you off and all that, that one does kind of seem to have a bit more of a learning curve and could extend out a lot more. The Architects of Amethyst. So we are interested in this. Grid coverage, city building, 2-player only. Really like the look of the art. Really like a lot of the stuff we've heard about it. It does sound really cool. So that is why we are interested in that one. Burnt Island Games has How to Save a World. I believe they said they're going to have limited copies each day. This is one that we have just recently covered on the channel. It is semi-co-op, possibly. Basically, an asteroid's heading for the world, and you are seeing about contributing to one of 3 possibilities of stopping it, either building a laser, constructing a shield, or evacuating. Once the asteroid reaches the planet, you're going to see which one satisfied the condition and protected you. And then whichever one does, whoever contributed the most to that will get the most points and go down from there. This is one that I'm still needing to play a few times to see if I really like it. It definitely has some fun things in it and some cool decisions to make, but it does just seem like it's a little hard to do everything. So trying to figure out exactly the way of getting that manipulated and the best way of doing things. And it definitely is going to reward you for trying to focus on one specific thing to where you can just like really just spam the bag with all these cubes and hope that you win. But outside that, like I said, it's just a little hard to get certain things done in the game. That kind of brings it down for me. I need to get a little more play into it. Capstone Games has quite a few things. Galileo Galilei, we've played this one. This one's really cool. You have a telescope. You're going to choose your action. There's a regular action that stays constant, and then this little moving bar of actions that once you take it, it slots around. And you're basically grabbing dice and manipulating their values and using those to observe main objects in the sky or minor objects. And there's an Inquisition, which is the drawback downside for me in this game. But it does have a lot of cool themes where you can have a couple of small turns, then all of a sudden your turns can just become comboing after combo after combo as you're putting stuff out and moving stuff down and triggering other certain things. So really cool, nice Euro with good thematics and a lot of replayability based on different cards. There's different astronomers that have different powers in it, etc. Meltwater, it's a 2-player only game they're demoing. Not overly particular about this one. The theme is modern warfare. That doesn't really resonate with Bri or I. So we take command and kind of playing cards back and forth that way. It's just not a theme or a play style that we like, although that cover is kind of cool with the skull on it. Raising Chicago, I don't know if we're interested in this one. This is basically one where you'll be building up Chicago, raising it because of the sanitation thing. Seeing as we are right near Chicago, it'd be cool to have this based on locale. But just some of the mechanisms, I don't quite know how it would resonate with Bri. It does seem like there's a lot of like the whole investment economic aspect of it. That doesn't really seem like something she normally cares about or wants to play in a game. So just kind of that whole category and mechanisms there is why I'm hesitant on this one. Up or down. So build rows with ascending numbers, card game, Kiesling and Kramer. Of course, we're interested. We also have been really liking what we've been getting from Capstone Games. So on a turn, place a card from your hand between the surrounding numbers in the ring. 37 between 34 and 52. When you take one of the cards surrounding then you take one of the cards surrounding your just placed card and add to your display, either starting a new row. So a lot of cool little tweaks in there. CGE. So we don't have Galaxy Trucker. We haven't played Galaxy Trucker. It's a real-time crazy game that doesn't fit up our alley. So we haven't played that one. We've played Lost Ruins of Arnak. It hasn't been one we've gotten back to yet. It is one that I feel like we would like if we played it more. We just haven't. If we did, I'd definitely be interested in this adventure chest. That's basically, I believe, a big box solution and then some more components. SETI, we have it. Haven't played it yet. Really thinking I'm going to like it. This is a demo of their expansion. And then Wispwood, grid coverage, open, drafting, abstract strategy, fantasy, 1 to 4 players, a demo of this one. A lot of that sounds like what we really like, score and reset game. On your turn, choose a wisp tile and a shape to place in your personal grid, your very own growing forest. Each wisp has desires about where it wants to shine. Have they got any more pictures? They didn't have pictures of it last time I checked. Nope, just a bunch of box things. I think I looked at the designer diary, and yeah, they got a bunch of different types of shapes with the different tiles. So a lot of that does sound interesting. So we are interested to see where this one goes. DPH games, just kind of looking through. This is a 3 and up, so nothing that sets a player count we don't play with. This Legacy at Sea. Easy but interesting conflict. Divide the mess in which you wish like to plunder. So it looks like you're plundering from each other's ships. Again, not something we like. We don't like that. Take that mechanism, even though it's not listed. On the Edge of Time. Cooperative, moving multiple units. This doesn't sound really up Bri's alley. Rules, asymmetric information. It just sounds a little convoluted with all of that than she would normally like to do. Touche, the Swashbucklers. Why didn't I put interested in this one? Fast-paced, 2-player showdown. Let's put interested in that one. Additions, Spielweiss. So micro, macro kids, if you're not sure what this is, it's basically a big poster that you have to try and solve these crimes by looking almost like a hide and seek Where's Waldo type thing. Same game, 3 and up, so haven't really looked at it. Communication limits, not a fan of that either. Envyborn games, Dragon Roost. So cooperative game, and it's action, dexterity, and stacking stuff. Those are not mechanisms that we are a fan of, so we aren't interested in that one. Hercules and the 12 Labors, solo only. I have backed this on BackerKit as part of Pocketopia. This one, you're basically going to be rolling dice and trying to use those dice to help fight against the monsters and such, and the labors that Hercules had to go through. Meerkat Kingdoms, I don't know why I didn't put interest in that one either. And same thing for Prowl. Envy Board Games does do a lot of these really like tiny box series games with some really cool and deep gameplay in them. Hidden victory points, highest, lowest scoring. So yeah, a lot of that sounds pretty cool. So I don't know why I didn't put it on there. And then compact area control. Okay, and Space Potato. Mine asteroid to collect essential resources before everyone dies. This is a bigger one for them, 60 and 90 minutes. Usually they're a lot smaller. Oh, I like that designer. Yeah, I'll put interest in there. We'll just put interest on all those. Fireside games. Ham Helsing. I just really like the title. Cooperative game. Deck building. Bri really likes deck building. So that's kind of where it is. We like the theme. We like the artwork. We like the publisher. And then we like all these mechanisms. So Ham Helsing looks like fun, especially if you are looking for that kind of more kiddish type of game. Please Don't Burn My Village. Commodity speculation, market, economic. Villagers bribe a dragon to spare their one. Again, just kind of looking at the mechanisms and the way it should be played. That's just not something that's going to resonate with us. First Fish Games. Canals of Windcrest, closed drafting, industry, manufacturing. I really like the look of their game. I think it was Mistwind maybe, with the flying whales. And then we have Town Builder Quiverdin, I can't remember the pronunciation, but I really like that one. So it's a company that we kind of want to look at and kind of see what they have coming out with. And I believe I really like this designer. That name seems familiar. I'm not big on fully knowing designers. Some of them I do remember. All right, next we have Gigamech. So we have Slide. Slide kind of is reminiscent to me a little bit of Toucan. You're going to have a grid of cards in front of you. You're going to be grabbing cards, putting them in the grid, and then if they're the same number next to each other, they're going to slide and take each other out and get discarded. You're trying to have the lowest value left. Tantric Strategy. It's more of an abstract game of playing out tiles and such, nothing that we normally would play. Grail Games, Food for Thought. Did I not put this? Worker placement, research game designed by a dietitian. Shop for ingredients, cook recipes. This is a new edition of consumption that includes the Picky Eater expansion previously. So I kind of remember, I think I looked at consumption before and there was just something about it that didn't resonate, but I'll put that as undecided. All right, Grand Gamers Guild. So we really like their games. So Belgian Bears Race Dice. We like Roll and Rights. But I guess it's an older design, but finally available in the US. So we are interested in seeing how this one plays and how it goes. I have heard the rulebook's a little rough. Obviously haven't had a chance to look at yet, but that's one that we're interested in looking at. Inferno, I've covered on the channel before. This is a big, grandiose game where you're going to be basically sending people to Dante's layers of hell, 7, 9, whatever it is. A lot of stuff interweaves in here. I don't know if this is going to be the retail or the deluxe. The deluxe is ridiculously awesome. But even without the deluxe, a lot of cool mechanisms where, you got to send the souls down into hell, and then based on what level they end up in, you can score points when they end there. And then that's going to dictate the end game scoring, because as you're getting them down there, you're pushing yourself up on the certain tracks. So then certain colors and certain levels are going to score more for you at the end of the game. Ovation. Ovation is a game where pseudo deck building-ish. It's going to be where you're more engine building. You have a piano board in front of you. I'm pretty sure it should be a picture here. You have this piano board in front of you, and then as you buy the cards, they're going to go in these certain slots. And on your turn, you basically choose an action you want to do. And then as you go up this action, you can trigger those if you have the right number of notes. You get those by performing these symphonies. And then basically as you're doing this, if it then you go up and it kicks you to another thing, you would then run that engine as well. And then you could possibly be bouncing around. This one we thought was fine. It just, sometimes it took a lot to try and get going to where your engine was really going. And then if one person really excelled at it, they could easily leave the other person in the dust. So sometimes there was that whole level there. Pillars of Heracles, kind of looked at this one, kind of just the way that it's played. and it seems more a little bit more combat and a little bit more of that. This isn't one that we are really keen on trying. We might if we get a chance, but it's not one that's on our list. S'mores Galore we've covered. It's a small card game where you're basically building s'mores and trying to build a certain pattern to make the s'mores. It's a really good small family game of basically drafting cards from a grid and then placing them in order and trying to manipulate them and make the s'mores. Grandpa Beck's Games, this is not a company that we typically buy from, but this 3-2-1 card shedding is something that we normally like. That's a high player count. So I am interested in it because I want to see how is it going to play at 2 players. Is there different rules, or is there a dummy player, or is it just play normal and it just, as you get more players, it just becomes more chaotic? Skull King Predictive Bid, not something we're interested in. Estate, we really like the look of this one. We both said that we're pretty interested in it. Chaining, drawing, medieval, a lot of mechanisms that just sound worker placement, variable setup, tech trees, a lot of stuff. Like, look at all this during the era. You can take 1 of 4 actions, reset. So it seems like something that where you're going to be able to trigger upon trigger upon trigger and do a lot of big actions throughout it. Moo and More, bids as wagers. Again, not big on bidding. Yellow, Mythical Dice, 3 and up players. That's more than we normally play. Pina Colada Dice, 2 to 4 connections, dice rolling. Interested in that one. I'm a big fan of basically small dice games. It's a family party game, which you roll a dice up to 3 times to claim one of the available combinations on coasters. So it just kind of sounds like a cool little fun dice game that we can probably take out and about when we travel. We're not big on Flashpoint. So Flashpoint Legacy of Flame, not something we're interested in. Perch, we've covered that one. This is one where you're going to be putting birds out on different boards and nests, trying to do this whole area control thing. Some of those ones that you place it out on will have powers that activate to help you kind of manipulate and move around where everything or how the birds are. At the end of each round, you score. After a certain number of rounds, whoever has the highest score wins. A lot more to it, and a lot of it is kind of dependent on the locations you choose. Jelly. So player elimination in a 2-player game just sounds weird to me. In order to win, players must conserve their Necra Nope icons and utilize spells and actions. So it basically seems like it's a 1v1 kind of attacking game. That's kind of why we're not interested in, although a 10-minute does seem pretty quick. So I think I'm going to put myself interested in that one again. I had it interested, then I chose not. Charge and Spark, a tactical mind game for 2, outplay and outmaneuver. Players select a card to play for their turn, reveal them simultaneously. So it almost kind of sounds slightly like, not necessarily programming, but one person could end up screwing the other, and that is not something that we enjoy. Galactic Cruise. So this is a huge game. If you haven't heard about this one, I am surprised. This one looks beautiful. It is well produced. It is ridiculously awesome. There is a lot going on in it, but it all flows well. The boards are done. I still have to play this a time or two to make my decision for sure, but this is definitely leaning towards a 10 out of 10 for me. It is definitively a 9 out of 10. I want to do a couple more plays of it, especially with a lot of the random setup. So, but yes, this one is one that you definitely should check out if you are there. I'm not going to say rush out and buy it at $119, but it's definitely something that you should try. More than likely, if you try, you are going to buy. When we got it, we did not get the expansions. We're going to be grabbing the expansions when we're at Origins. They also have some bundle deals for Origins as well. I think it's like $200 for the game, both expansions, a playmat, upgraded components, and card sleeves. Or if you want, or you have the base game, want everything else, I think it's like $100 for the expansions, playmat, upgraded components, and card sleeves. But yes, this is definitely one. Should be high on your list of games to try, especially if you like those big crunchy Euro-y type games or those big crunchy games. KTBG, so Nanatoridori, they're going to have limited copies of this. We are going to be rushing in to get this. It is a ladder climbing card game, kids tabletop board gaming. We really enjoy their stuff. So this is definitely one that we're going to be wanting to check out. And if we can get it right away, we will get it on the channel as soon as possible. Then you have River Market. This looks like it's the next game in the saga of games that's got Creature Comforts and Maple Valley. Same designer, obviously the same artwork. Want to see what they've changed in this one from the other ones. Movement points, rondelle, race around the river market, collecting goods, hiring helpers, and setting up shop. So I do want to see, how this ties into that universe. It sounds really cool. Lightning Lake Games, Breakers. Take that, trick-taking game. Take that and trick-taking is stuff that Rye likes tricks, but a lot of times in these trick-taking games, they add a mechanism, and that just does it too much for her. She likes playing just straight trick-taking game where it's just, I gotta win a trick, and that doesn't always happen in these. And then especially if they're going to be take that, meh. Llama Escape Games, I just really like the name of it. And then Don Quixote, the Ingenious Hidalgo. First, that's a weird MSRP, $31. Novel base, each round he will head for new adventures and players vote simultaneously on whether to help him or not. Success in an adventure means he progresses on a quest towards glory or love, while failure increases his delusion. The twist, the more the night progresses one track, the more valuable your contributions to that track are. So I am a little hesitant on that voting aspect. So actually I'm going to move this to undecided. That voting aspect does kind of give me a little pause, especially because I don't know if you're going to start trying to screw each other over or not. Diatomes. I have heard nothing but great things about this one. I don't know why I didn't put interested. It's supposed to be tile placement. It's really thinky, really spatial, really abstract. A lot of people have talked very highly about this one. I guess there's some upgraded bits that really elevate it to another level. So it is one that we're going to want to check out when we are there. Then we have Uh-Oh Dino. Cooperative dinosaur game with a shifting board. Again, cooperative. It's a children's game for 5 up. Not going to say it's below us. We do like a lot of games that are more for kids. But just like I said, cooperative, the 5+, I think that's just not going to be something that's going to resonate with us long term. Solstice, again, 2-player tile placement. Heard very good things about it. Heard it's a really good 2-player versus kind of combat, or not really combat, but that type of element of competitive. So it is one that we want to check out. We are always looking for those like small box games, especially if they're small boxes with large types of gameplay. Ink Tensions. This is on Kickstarter right now. Action cube, betting and bluffing. It's basically going to be like playing cards and possibly being able trying to counter the cards. The designer of this, we've worked with them with Licensed Acrylic, which I'll get into here in a second, has really put a lot of time, effort, and love into this one. So it does look really cool. Just we were given a chance to try and preview it, but some of the gameplay mechanisms and the way that the card play is and interacts with each other isn't what our play style is. But it did sound like it's going to have a really good market, especially if you're looking for this kind of game where you're basically trying to knock out your opponents. So each round, players take turns playing one of their 9 cards, their scoring pile, and then based on how everything happens, you're going to score at the end of the game. Licensed Acrylic, this stuffed plush isn't just a box. What's going to happen is you're going to have cards out there, and that whale is going to be moving around, possibly eating cards. When it eats cards, you're going to stick it back in the whale. Sometimes you're going to be taking random cards out of the whale, but you're going to basically be kind of like having set collection, and your Krills are going to be worth a certain number of points, etc. Really cool, fun, quick family game. Like I said, we did a preview of this. It'll be in that playlist. Parks and Potions. We did really want to try and cover this one on the channel. Just didn't get the opportunity to. But contracts, dice rolling. You're going to be rolling dice to get like resources, be able to build or do these different potions, and using them to, I believe, help fix animals, recover animals, cure animals. One of those various words that can be used. I know they did say that they have some review copies set aside, so I'm hoping when we get there, we are able to get one of those. Octoraph Games. So we haven't scheduled a demo for this. This does sound really cool. It's melding, playing card game. It's about building a comic book collection, trading those comic books, etc. They have one other game. We backed it. We have it. I'll just be honest. It's fallen into the thing where we want to play it, but we haven't gotten to it yet. We got it a long time ago, and it was basically like about running a store and having all these different departments and all that. It sounded really cool. Again, we just haven't gotten around to it yet. but it does seem that I know they've been working on this one for quite a while. All right, off the page, Corpse of Discovery, cooperative game, deduction, as you've heard by now, not mechanisms we normally like. Really, I do know that they do a lot of really good productions and put a lot of care into their game. So this is definitely one that if this type of stuff interests you, to definitely check out. Finding and killing monsters, you must also complete numerous daily challenges that require specific resources. So kind of collecting resources and going like that. Like I said, just not one that did it for us. But then you have the expansions for it as well. And then I know I've been seeing this one pop up. If you are into Grendel, which was from the comics, then you're probably going to want to look at this one. Cyclades, Legendary Edition. This is what I know, obviously a Legendary Edition. It's been out for a while. There's just something about this one. I'm trying to remember what it was that we have. I think it's the whole auction, constrained bidding, and just the way that you went about doing it. So like the classic modes for 3 to 5 players, it says 2 to 6. So that makes me think that the 2-player version's a little wonky. Clans in Glory. So Scottish clan, that's kind of one of the reasons why I'm wanting to look at it. Setup, layout, forces, landscape boards, value 1, 3 to 8. So push your luck, set collection, small box card game, Scottish clans. A lot of that kind of makes me interested in checking it out. Feed the Kraken, 5 to 11, social deduction. You know that's not going to be for us. 3 to 7, again 3+, not for us. Lambada, card game that's a carnival of colors. Skill and planning, strategically play letter cards on top of the word Labamba while avoiding the forbidden color. Each turn demands planning as you navigate shifting colors and dodge penalties while racing to try to empty your hand. It sounds interesting. It's just, I don't know about that whole navigating, shifting colors. Those are kind of those are the types of things that Bry always kind of has an issue with and kind of slows down our processing. So I feel like this one might drag out longer than I'd wanted to based on those. And, I'm going to put undecided. Loot, 2 to 8, card play, nautical. I'm pretty sure there's a reason I didn't like it. Essen release 2002, and nice small. Attack and defend trading ships in order to get the most coins. So it kind of feels like you might be going against team-based game. You might be going against each other. So a little hesitant on that one. Shadow Ninjas, hidden movement, maze. That aren't mechanisms we like either. Paper Puffin, Mushroom Cats. A few years old, but is distributed in the US. Yes, it's available now. It's adorable. Card game about a mushroom, so you got closed drafting. Side mushrooms, rules very simple. Players familiar with other pick and pass type games have no trouble learning it. Hand of cards, select, reveal a card, resolve any special actions, pass their hand on. So it sounds like a cool, fun, quick, small card game. Mushroom Cats sounds like a cool theme. So it's on our want list. We don't have Doomtown, so we don't need the expansion. 23 Knives, 3 to 8 players, bribery, party game, not our market. Ascending Empires, a big epic 4X experience. 4X games are not ones that we partake in. Those usually shine at the higher player counts, or in this 60 to 90, it's not too bad of a time frame, but I feel just playing with Bry, that's going to take a while. There's that Exterminate, which is take that in essence. So I know that would be against her. And I think we'd just be going through different ways of playing it, and I don't think it'd be enjoyable for both of us. So we kind of steer away from 4X games. Better Letters, Action Timer, Real Time, Party Game, all of that makes this a no for us. But it basically, if you are looking for a new type of word game, you got Better Letters. Emerald Echoes, cooperative game, solve puzzles, you uncover the story of a legendary alchemist. I feel like some of these I don't remember looking at for some reason. In each chapter, there's a collection of unlabeled items along with a series of green puzzle folders. Each green folder contains at least one written document to investigate. So this kind of almost sounds like it gets sent to you, maybe. It's almost like a escape room. Playtime, 240 minutes. That's a bit long. So yeah, I kind of feel like this might be one of those ones that gets sent to you. Ministry of Lost Things, Case 1, again, 120 to 180. That just is a little long for us for those types of games. Because that means it may take like 4 hours for us, because a 1.5 hour game takes like 3. Alrighty, Rainbow Randolph is the king. CDS Travel. Push Your Luck, track movement, trivia might be up our alley, just not something that we're looking at doing. Mega Jackpot, even though it's got betting and bluffing, bingo, it is a small card game. And turnover cards will line 3 matching symbols to hit the jackpot. Doesn't stop there. Gamble your winnings to flip a tile for a shot at the elusive jackpot. So that just kind of sounds cool, of flipping the cards and possibly trying to push your luck. It's just a lot of cool things in a small box. That's what it sounds like to me. Restoration Games is going to have Battle Monsters there to demo. Really like the look of it. Really like how big these miniatures are. But Bry is not big on the like 1v1 conflict games like this where you're attacking your opponent and all that. So this isn't one that we're going to be getting. Same thing with the Unmatched. Same basic principle is, you got the cards and you're having to, basically the strategic tactical combat is not something she excels in. Scorpion Mask, Mookie Island, 4+. This just seems a little too young for us the way that it plays out. Flock Together expansion. We've never played Flock Together. Flock Together also is, I believe, like a boss battler. Not something we veer towards. Getting near the end. Sentient Games, The Last Command. Why didn't I do this one? The Last Command, detail-oriented space combat strategy game. That's why. Combat strategy game is kind of where draw that. The achieve victory. Captains must learn when to push their systems limits, when to recall them. If the captain is able to reduce the whole strength of his opponent's ship to 0. So basically seems like one of those dueling ones where you're attacking it, kind of like Star Realms, Hero Realms, Shards of Infinity, etc. Slugfest, Positano, action bidding, sealed bid. Not big on bidding games. This is the expansion for it. Red Dragon Inn is more so a party game. Cretaceous Rails, we've covered. Review of that is coming out next week. Going to spoil it for you right here. If you watch this, then you know what my number is. This is a 9 out of 10 for me. A lot of awesome things here where you're collecting dinos, you're grabbing tourists, and your tourists are going to be pushing up your tracks, but they can only push up the tracks if the dinosaurs are there, but you need dinosaurs and tourists to put out resort cards, which makes your actions more powerful and better. So a lot of cool stuff that interweaves in here. Again, reviews dropping next week if you want more of an idea, but it's demoing. This is one I suggest demoing. So this one and Galactic Cruise are my definitive demos if you like those types of games. Primacy. I feel like this one just got added, so we're going to put interested. Although I don't know. Income, political, actually none of that really. A city control, conquer 3 types of sectors through a city for different benefits. Battles resolved by secretly committing gear cards to 3 different exceptions, simultaneously revealing. Yeah, unfortunately, that does not sound like gameplay Bry would like. Pivot. So, action event, drafting, economic, industry, manufacturing, negotiation. So, just something about this one that makes me interested. I don't think Bry's going to like it, but it's still one I'm interested in, want to check out and just kind of see, because it's an interactive German-style board game where the players are invested in the actions their fellow players are making. So maybe it might be something where she can get lifted up by the way I'm doing stuff. Thunderworks Games has Emerald Skulls. Emerald Skulls, auction, dexterity, betting, and bluffing, dice. So this is one. We prefer Goblin Vaults over this one. This one didn't play as well at 2 players, but this one definitely does shine at higher player counts. But basically, one person's a tumbler. They're going to be rolling dice. Players can bet on the outcome of the roll as the person's rolling. The person can choose to stop. And when they stop, they get certain money based on how their turn ended, where the dice are on the Emerald Skull. However, once you place them on a certain level of the skull, you can't place anything below. So you have to kind of just keep building up. There's different ways that you can bet, different betting cards, etc. A decent game if you have a larger group. If you have just 2 players, not that great. Solo wasn't too bad, but I think this is definitely going to shine like 3, 4, 5, and 6. Probably even 4, 5, and 6. I'm not sure about 3. I just know at 2 it wasn't all that great. DNT Laserworks, Stage Zones. This one kind of seemed a little basic, especially for what I'm expecting it to sell for, because it's going to be these laser etched boards. It seems like you're basically rolling dice and putting out the little discs or the little glass things. And if someone's there, you just remove them, etc. just like I said, seemed very basic for what I'm expecting these to retail for. We never played the Mandalorian Adventure, so we're not interested in the expansion. Final Girl, I haven't gotten to play it yet, but there's a bunch of expansions for Final Girl coming out from Van Ryder. We don't have Catapult Feud, so we're not interested in that expansion. Kind of feel like I'm talking about movies here. Didn't see the first one, don't want to see the second one. River Trek, chaining, income, exploration. On your turn, you pick up a stack of explorers called a caravan, Mancala style, dropping them one at a time. Each explorer dropped on space earns money if the trading post is the same colors on the space. So it just seems like a really cool one of kind of managing how you're moving stuff around and dropping them around the board. And Bry is a fan of the Mancala mechanism, so that is one that we are interested in. Whirligig games, these I feel are a little more strategic and higher level than we normally play, and also very historically based. So it's not a type of play style or theme and all that we normally tend towards. Although Hellraisers in Kanawha County, 1 to 3. Auction, Dutch Priority, open. Yeah, never mind. Same thing with Molly House. It's negotiating, bluffing, not mechanisms we care about. Theme also doesn't interest us. There are people out there who are going to enjoy that theme of create joy in a queer community in 1720s London. It's just not a theme that draws us personally in. Lucha Lucha 345. Master Lucha Lucha and win the thrilling Gold Belt Challenge. So as you embark in this game, that you take turns to move the luchador pieces, the lucha, and try to form as many of their advantage stacks as possible. So it just kind of sounds like it's cool. It encourages players to develop spatial awareness intelligence, which is based on the well-known theory of multiple intelligence proposed by American psychologist and Harvard professor Howard Gardner. Easy to learn, but tough to win. The game is perfect for strategic minds and casual players alike. So just a small box game like that sounds pretty cool to play. Expansion for Taylor Master. We don't have Taylor Master, so we're not interested in that. Vines and Flowers, Blooming Harmonies, Connections, cooperative game, collectible components, puzzle. This game, you aim to complete as many full flowers as possible, connecting vines and flowers. The flowers the same color, take strategy and a touch of luck. So I don't know, there's just something about the look and way this one sounded just didn't draw me in. Warfret, A Forlorn Hope, War Game. We're not war game people. And then Aegis, combining robots, second ignition. Unite your 5 robot team to fight for victory. If I remember right, you battle each other. And again, not something Bry is a fan of. Yep, more powerful ones to feed your opponents. So let me go here. Let me refresh this to get those last ones in here. So there are 40 titles on my list. We went over them. I explained why I'm interested in each of them. But so that is the Origins list from that we care about. If you're going to Origins, hope to see you there. If you're not going to Origins, hopefully we cover something that interests you that we got at Origins. I do have a Gen Con list. If Gen Con is what you're looking for, I will have, if you go to our channel, there is a Gen Con playlist as well. We're not getting Gen Con this year, unfortunately, although we may sneak down there for beer and pizza. We'll see. Both of those sound interesting this year. But anyways, if I could get you to head down below and hit like, subscribe, comment, share, and ring the bell. When you comment, let me know if you're going to Origins and what you are looking forward to at Origins. And if you're looking for games, maybe even pre-ordering some of these, you can go ahead and check out Miniature Market. We have a link down below to that as well, to where you can make a purchase and a portion of those proceeds come back to the channel. And that can help us buy more games to cover on the channel and stuff at like Origins, Gen Con, etc. Alrighty, see you there or see you here.